The wildest part about Miami isn't just McLaren being quick, it was George Russell being 6/10ths behind Norris in sprint qualifying. Not by traffic, not by luck. McLaren just gapped them. From the very first qualifying session, the difference was obvious, and it wasn't small at all. Lando Norris grabbed pole with real confidence, putting a solid gap between himself and Kimi Antonelli, while George Russell was left way behind in 6th, over 6/10ths off the pace. In today's Formula One, gaps like that don't just show up out of nowhere. It usually means something serious has changed. What makes it hit even harder is how Russell reacted after. He straight up admitted the jump from McLaren, and Ferrari caught him off guard, even saying they now look faster than Mercedes. That's not just talk, that's a driver calling it exactly how he sees it. This isn't some small shift either. It feels like the whole balance of power is starting to move. McLaren pulled up with a big upgrade package, and it's clearly doing damage in the best way. The new floor is the main weapon, completely changing how the car creates downforce, especially through fast corners. Add in tweaks to the rear wing, side pods, and airflow, and suddenly this car looks like a totally different beast. Now the car looks smoother, more stable, and way more efficient than before, and the drivers are feeling it instantly. Norris said the car felt right from lap 1, no struggle, no guessing, and Piastri made it clear this result wasn't luck. It's the real pace of the car showing up. On the flip side, Mercedes hasn't exactly fallen apart, but they haven't stepped up either. And right now, that's costing them big time. With no major upgrade in sight and ongoing problems like tyre overheating and setup struggles in the brutal Miami heat, Mercedes has lost that edge that once made them untouchable. That gap they used to control? It's slipping away fast. So now the big question hits hard. Is McLaren just shining in Miami, or have they actually jumped ahead of Mercedes for real? If you want to see how this could shake up the entire championship fight, make sure to subscribe because there's a lot more to break down. What went down on Friday in Miami isn't just a one-off session. It's the first clear sign of something bigger that's been building behind the scenes. During that unexpected 5-week break, after Bahrain and Saudi Arabia were cancelled, teams had rare time to regroup and rethink everything. And now, the way each team used that time is starting to show in a big way on track. Mercedes played it safe during that window. With 3 wins from 3 races already locked in, they didn't feel pressure to rush changes. They stuck to a long-term plan, bringing only small tweaks to Miami instead of anything dramatic. But McLaren? They went all in with an aggressive push, fast-tracking a huge upgrade package that basically resets how the MCL40 works from the ground up. That split-in approach is massive, especially under these regulations where the floor controls so much of the car's performance. Change the floor and you change everything. McLaren's new design is believed to boost not just peak downforce, but also how stable that downforce stays across different ride heights. And that's a serious advantage when every corner counts. That kind of consistency is exactly what lets a driver push without hesitation, especially through those fast sections where even the smallest twitch can cost serious time. Norris saying that from lap 1 everything felt better says a lot more than it seems. It's not just about having more grip. It's about having grip you can actually trust and use every second. When a car reacts the same way every time under pressure, it opens up everything for the driver. They can get on the throttle earlier, brake later, and carry more speed without second-guessing the car. And in Miami's extreme heat, where track temps go past 50 degrees and tires start falling apart fast, that kind of control becomes a massive advantage. Backing up this new floor is a fully reworked aero setup around the edges of the car, and it's all working together in a sharp, calculated way. The front and rear corners have been reshaped to clean up the airflow before it even hits the floor, making everything more effective. The side pod inlets have also been adjusted to handle cooling without messing up that airflow, which is a tricky balance to get right. Then at the back, things get even tighter and more refined. The engine cover and Coke bottle area have been slimmed down to boost efficiency, while a fresh rear wing setup ties it all together, keeping the car fast on the straights but still locked in through the corners. Each of these changes might seem small on their own, but together they completely change how the car handles air and creates downforce. That's why the jump in performance looks so sudden and so real. And Piastri made it clear, saying, "We didn't luck into the result today. This pace is genuine, and it's here to stay. The potential is there." That line hits different because it draws a clear line between real performance and lucky circumstances. There were no strange conditions, no chaos, nothing random affecting the outcome. What showed up in Miami was the raw capability of the car, plain and simple. And there's another layer to McLaren's rise that isn't as obvious, but it matters just as much. Earlier in the season, Mercedes had the upper hand when it came to energy management, especially with how they harvested and deployed electrical power across a lap. But in Miami, the data is pointing to something big. McLaren has seriously closed that gap. They've started deploying more energy earlier in the lap, especially out of slower corners where acceleration makes a huge difference. That move paid off in a big way. By getting stronger exits early, McLaren drivers were carrying more speed into key sections, building lap time where it counts most. Of course, there's a trade-off here. Using more energy early can leave less for the long straights later on. But with Miami's layout rewarding that early punch over pure top speed, it turned out to be the perfect call. This isn't about copying another team's strategy. It's about understanding exactly how to squeeze performance out of both the car and the track at the same time. That kind of precision shows a deeper level of control and smart optimization, and it lines up perfectly with their aero gains. Meanwhile, Mercedes got caught out, not because their car is slow, but because it operates in a tighter window, and right now, that's being exposed by rivals who've taken a bigger step forward. Russell's struggles say more than any datasheet ever could. He admitted it himself, saying, "I was just overheating my tyres a lot in that twisty section in the middle. I was struggling to get the right balance with the car." That kind of issue, especially rear tyre overheating, usually points straight to one thing: a lack of aerodynamic stability when the car is under pressure. When the rear starts moving around too much, the tyres are forced to work overtime to compensate, and that builds heat way faster than it can escape. In Miami's extreme temperatures, that problem gets even worse, turning a small weakness into a major limitation. And the key detail here, it wasn't just Russell dealing with it. Both Mercedes drivers were fighting to get the car into that perfect operating window, especially on the medium tyres used earlier in qualifying. Antonelli did manage to pull together a strong lap in SQ3, but even he admitted it was pretty messy, which says everything about how tricky the car really is to handle right now. The speed might be there somewhere, but accessing it consistently is a whole different story. And that gap between raw potential and actual usability, that's what separates a top contender from the rest. A car that only works under perfect conditions is always going to fall short compared to one that delivers solid performance lap after lap, no matter the situation. On Friday, McLaren clearly had that consistency locked in, and that's why they stood out so much. And then there's Ferrari, adding even more pressure into the mix. They rolled out a serious upgrade package too and showed strong pace through practice and early qualifying. Even without grabbing a front row spot, their performance tightened things at the front, making life even harder for Mercedes as the competition closed in fast. Russell didn't try to hide it either. He said the improvements from McLaren and Ferrari were pretty damn impressive, and even admitted they've been quicker than us. That's not something you say if you think it's just a bad session or a small setback. That's a driver recognizing, in real time, that the competitive order is starting to change in a serious way. Now sure, Miami as a track does play its part, but it doesn't explain a gap this big on its own. With its mix of long straights and tight technical sections, the circuit demands strong aero efficiency and a stable rear end. exactly the areas where McLaren's upgrades are hitting hard right now. And yes, their past wins here in 2024 and 2025 show the track suits them. But this is on another level completely. What we're seeing now goes way beyond just track compatibility. The gap to Mercedes is too large, too clear to blame on layout alone. It's pointing straight at a car that's made a real step forward across the board. Faster, more stable, and way more complete in how it delivers performance. There's also the new regulations introduced this weekend, designed to ease some of the limits around energy management, and that added another layer to the story. But early signs suggest that's not the main reason behind this shakeup. Miami's stop-start nature was never going to be the perfect place to fully judge those changes anyway. At the core of it all, one thing stands out above everything else: the upgrade race. And right now, McLaren and Ferrari look like they've nailed it, while Mercedes is left trying to catch up in a fight that's suddenly getting a lot more intense. Teams that used that break to bring real upgrades are now cashing in instantly, while the ones that held back are getting exposed. And right now, that's Mercedes. But this doesn't automatically mean they're heading into a long-term decline. Their choice to delay a major upgrade could still pay off later in the season if it comes in stronger and more refined. In Formula One, development stacks over time, and one big, well-timed package can flip everything back in your favor. But right now, in this moment, Mercedes is on the back foot, and that's a dangerous place to be in a title fight. Even a short dip in performance can leave damage that sticks around longer than expected. There's also a mental side to this that can't be ignored. Momentum in F1 isn't just about lap times, it's about confidence running through the entire team. McLaren just saw their upgrades hit exactly how they wanted, and that kind of result builds serious belief across drivers, engineers, and everyone involved. Norris even called it a nice way to reward the team, making it clear how much effort went into getting to this point. That kind of validation pushes a team forward even faster because it proves they're on the right path. Meanwhile, Mercedes now has to respond on two fronts, not just fixing the car, but rebuilding that confidence they had at the start of the season. That sense of control and certainty has taken a hit, and getting it back quickly could be just as important as any upgrade they bring. As the weekend continues, the focus will shift toward race pace, where things can still change. Qualifying speed doesn't always guarantee race success, especially with tyre wear, strategy calls, and track evolution all coming into play. But even so, Miami has already flipped the storyline of this season in a big way. It's shown that Mercedes can be beaten, not because of luck or chaos, but because another team simply did a better job developing their car. That's a completely different kind of threat, and it raises some serious questions moving forward. So now it comes down to this. Are we watching the start of a real title fight, or just a short burst of form from McLaren? Have they truly found a direction that puts them ahead, or is this as good as it gets? And if they have made that breakthrough, how fast can Mercedes respond before things swing too far the other way? Let me know what you think. And don't forget to like and subscribe to not miss the latest F1 news.